The United Nations Academic Impact was created 10 years ago as a dynamic platform for the energy, innovation, and creativity of scholarship to work with the United Nations in a culture of intellectual, social responsibility. I still remember in 2007 when a United Nations senior staff member, Ramu Damadoran, came up to me and said, "Mr. Secretary General, why don't we start a global network of universities to support the United Nations in its mission?" And I replied, "It seems a wonderful idea. Go and work on it." And he did, with the support of academic leaders the world over, including my good friend, the late Dr. Michael Adams of the International Association of University Presidents. And when they came back to me with a completed project, I had only one question: why did we not think of this earlier? The major punctuation points of these 10 years, the evolution of the Sustainable Development Goals, and the conclusion of the Paris Agreement on climate change, owe as much to scholars assuring us what can be possible as to the political will to build on that assurance. The work of institutions of higher education is vital to achieving the SDGs, as they serve as incubators of new ideas, inventions, and solutions to our common challenges we face. As we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the United Nations Academic Impact, we are grateful for its contribution to transformative impact on a global scale. Today, we are also celebrating the graduation of the Millennium Fellowship class of 2020. Cognizant of the fact that change starts in our own communities, UNAI's partnership with the Millennium Campus Network, MCN, a global student movement to address humanity's greatest challenges, started in 2018 with a goal to engage and empower young leaders so that individual action at the grassroots level will echo around the world and inspire others to do the same. UNAI and MCN partnered to present the Millennium Fellowship, a leadership development program that takes place on university campuses that convenes, challenges, and celebrates student leadership for UN goals. In 2020, 15,000 young leaders applied to join the Millennium Fellowship class of 2020. 80 campuses in 20 countries were selected to host the 1,438 Millennium Fellows, who managed over 750 projects and contributed millions of hours to uplifting their communities and advancing all 17 SDGs. My congratulations to them. I'm delighted to share with you a few more milestones of UNAI achieved in the past decade. The Many Languages One World International Essay Contest showcased the power of multilingualism by inviting students from around the world to write essays on global citizenship, cultural understanding, and the role of multilingualism. Winners met at the Global Youth Forum in New York, where they presented action plans for the Sustainable Development Agenda in the United Nations General Assembly Hall. The academic impact commitment to promoting the SDGs inspired is a partnership with the Sustainable Development Solutions Network. Through collaboration, they mobilized universities, knowledge institutions, as well as scientific and technical expertise in support of the UN's historic efforts to realize a life of dignity for all. The SDG Academy partners with leading experts to develop free massive open online courses and educational materials on sustainable development and offer them as a global public good. In 2018, UNAI announced the inauguration of the UNAI SDG hubs. 17 UNAI member institutions were selected from all regions of the world as exemplars for their innovative scholarship and engagement related to the Sustainable Development Goals. The SDG hubs have conducted research that brings us closer to achieving the goals while educating the next generation of leaders to change the world. One question that we often get when working with the young people is, how do I become part of the United Nations? The academic impact committed to connect the future leaders with the right avenue for creating change, designed the Work for UN series to help UN aspirants understand the organization, its structure, and some of the most common ways available to join the organization. I encourage you to take a look at it, and I hope you will join the organization and contribute your talent with pride to help the world secure. Responding to the impact of COVID-19 on higher education, UNAI brought together students, educators, and researchers in different parts of the world and held timely conversations with them to find out how COVID-19 has affected them and how they are coping with the changes. These conversations offered solid advice, lessons learned, and shed light on the potential positive outcomes of the global lockdown for higher education. In the month leading up to the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, the Academic Impact organized a series of webinars titled 75 for UN 75, 75 minutes of conversation. These online dialogues were joined by scholars, educators, researchers, and students globally to discuss their priorities for the future, anticipate obstacles to achieving them, and rethink a wide range of global issues. Inclusiveness has always been at the core of the work of the United Nations Academic Impact. Its latest We Are Indigenous original series gives a stage to members to the global indigenous community who are contributing to solving the world's biggest problems with their own unique wisdom and practices passed down through generations. With only 10 years left for us to achieve the SDGs, 2020 is ushering in a decade of ambitious, accelerated action to deliver the goals by 2030. You have the power to demand urgency and ambition and to supercharge ideas into solutions, and UNAI is here to serve as the bridge between you and the United Nations. Please join or continue working with UNAI as partners, members, colleagues, or interns in this new decade of action for universities and students. As I said when I launched the Academic Impact 10 years ago, we are not asking for your intellectual property, but we are demanding your dynamism, your energy, and your commitment. Thank you.